Hello everyone, this is Mukesh Kumar Tiwari from Albion Public School. Dear all the students, you know that during the physical classes we have started chapter 4 of class 9 chemistry, that is the structure of atom. So in the structure of atom, the first topic is that discovery of cathode rays, which leads to the discovery of electron. But you know why there is a need for the study of this chapter and this topic. So first of all, you have to very well that in the previous chapter, atom and molecules, the various things we talk about, like the atom. The word atom is derived from the Greek word atomus, that is the indivisible, uncut or indivisible, by the Indian philosopher named was Mahasi Khanal, and then the Greek philosopher named was Democritus and Eusebius, who coined the term atomus, which means divisible. Here, uncut or indivisible. So later we discuss about for the Dalton's atomic theory, postulates of Dalton atomic theory. When we talk about for the Dalton's postulates, in their postulates it has been already mentioned that atom is indivisible in nature. That means atom cannot be further divided. And the same thing is also explained by the two Greek philosophers, Democritus and Eusebius, that is the atomus means uncut or indivisible. That means atom cannot be further divided. And Dalton's theory also explained that atoms cannot be divisible or it cannot be further divided. But the modern discovery or the modern chemist explained that atom is divisible in nature. That means atom can further divided into other simpler form, like the electron, proton and neutron. You know very well that atom is made up of the three fundamental particles, that is the electron, proton and neutron. And these three fundamental particles are also known as subatomic particles. So after the knowing about the fundamental particles, a question arises always in our mind that how we can explain the presence of electron, proton and neutron in the atom, or what are the theories or the histories behind the discovery of the electron, behind the discovery of the proton and neutron as well. So here we have to discuss about how this electron have been discovered, and for this we have to go for the topic, we have to study the discovery of cathode rays. Clear? So I have just cleared that why there is a need for the study of the discovery of cathode rays, because we have to explain the discovery of electron, and this electron is the fundamental particle of atom. Now another question is arises, why we have to start the discovery of cathode rays? Although we know that it will lead towards the discovery of the electron, but why the discovery of cathode rays have been carried out, or what are the reasons behind the discovery of cathode rays? Clear? So the things are that a scientist named was Michael Faraday in 1833, who successfully passes the electric current through the aqueous solution of a substance. And then after, there was a matter of debate that we can also pass the electricity through the gases or not. So many scientists were engaged to pass the electricity through the gases, but the first scientist named was the Julius Brother in 1859, who was successfully passes the electric current through the gases and explain about the cathode rays. So the first name for the discovery of the cathode rays goes to the Julius Brother, which was made by him in 1859. But nowadays we discuss for the, or we study the discovery of cathode rays by the J.J. Thomson in 1897. Means J.J. Thomson was another scientist who was also very interested to know about that how these cathode rays have been discovered, which was already explained by the Julius Plucker in 1859. So Julius Plucker performed an experiment. That experiment was known as cathode discharge tube experiment. The experiment name was discharge tube experiment actually. And on the behalf of that experiment, there will be discovery of a rays, and that is known as the discovery of cathode rays. Clear? So first of all, we have to discuss about for the discharge tube experiment. And what is the discharge tube experiment? So you can see here there is a diagram given here. For the discharge tube experiment, first listen, why there is a need for the study of the discharge tube experiment? Because this discharge tube experiment lead towards the discovery of the cathode rays. Clear? So in the discharge tube experiment, first of all, he was taking a hard glass tube which is known as discharge tube, and this discharge tube is like this. This is the discharge tube. And also he was taking the two metal rod, that is the first metal rod is made as a cathode and the second one as a anode. And after taking the two wires from each electrode, that is cathode and anode, it is connected to the high voltage source. Clear? And in this experiment, the scientist, that is the Julius Plucker, wanted to pass the electricity or electric current through the gases. So this was the same, the whole apparatus. This is the discharge tube, metal rod, cathode, anode, and this is the wire which is connected to the high voltage source. And there is a vacuum, two vacuum pumps which are here insert, because the gases which are filled inside this discharge tube will not escape out from this, and the outside the gas will not enter into this. Now the experiment was started by the Julius Plucker. He first of all passes the electric current into the discharge tube through this high voltage source. Clear? So initially there was no any happening, or there will be no any reactions or taking place inside the discharge tube. After that, Julius Plucker think that what are the things are missing here, because the gases, because he wanted to know that is the gases have ability to conduct the electricity or not. So he just passes the electricity through it. But initially it was not very sufficient that there is no any reactions are taking place in the discharge tube after passing the current through it. Now you think that what are the reasons? So for that, he just changes the position of the cathode and anode. He just arranges the anode this side and cathode this side, and another way he start to pass the current into the discharge tube. But almost there was no any reactions were taking place. Now you think that what are the things are going on? Is my experiment will be totally wrong or it will be correct? So for this, he changes all the things one by one. He also changes the gases and the wire and so on. And after some time, he approaches towards the vacuum pump, and through the vacuum pump he just releases the pressure. That means he reduces the pressure for some time, and after that he starts to pass the current through the discharge tube. So when he first reduces the pressure, then there will be some sparking or taking place inside the tube, and he was now assumed that the reason behind the passing the current or the things are not taking place, the reason is that pressure. That means he just started to reduce the pressure once again, one by. And after all, when he start to reduce the pressure in a sequence, then the reaction will taking place inside the discharge tube. And finally, at a very low pressure, at a very he observed that there is a type of rays which are originated from the cathode side and falls towards the anode wall. And after striking this rays, this is the cathode rays which are originated from the cathode side. This is the cathode rays. So at very low pressure, he observed that there is an origination of a kind of rays from the cathode side, and it will travel towards the anode side. And at the anode side, it strikes behind the wall of anode and producing a glow, and that glow was green glow. So he just think that why this green glow is formed. What are the reasons the formation of the green glow behind the wall of the anode? He think that there is a kind of rays or coming from the cathode and strikes or fall behind the anode, and that is the reason that the green glow are formed. So the rays are coming from the cathode side, as the name are given as cathode rays. So in this way, Julius Macker explained the existence of the cathode rays by the discharge tube experiment. This glow will be changed when we change the nature of when we change the gas. In all gases, there are different types of the color will be formed. It will depend upon the nature of the gas. So firstly, it has been he was taken as a hydrogen gas, and this green glow was formed. And after the Julius Macker experiment, another scientist named was J.J. Thomson, who was also very interested to know about the same thing by the discharge tube experiment. And after that, the same experiment was repeated by the J.J. Thomson, and he also observed the same thing which was explained by the Julius Macker. And in this way, the discovery of cathode rays takes place, and after that, J.J. Thomson, the scientist name was J.J. Thomson, who explained the properties of this cathode rays. He studied about the properties of this cathode rays, and he mentioned some important points regarding this cathode rays. And thus J.J. Thomson was the scientist who first of all explained that this cathode rays is a beam of cathode rays is the electron. So the credit for the discovery of electron goes to the J.J. Thomson, and the discovery of cathode rays for the Julius Macker initially, and after that Thomson. Because here the names are explained, the discovery of cathode rays are given for the J.J. Thomson because J.J. Thomson studied the properties of the cathode rays. Clear? Here Macker was not able to explain what are the things or what are the properties of this cathode rays. Clear? So I hope that you all have clear that how this cathode rays experiment or how this discharge tube experiment leads towards the cathode rays, and this cathode rays leads towards us to the electron. So in this way we can easily understand about the discovery of cathode rays, discovery of electron. Clear? Now once again the topic was that the gases conduct electricity or not. It was the topic, and the scientist start to do the experiment, and he then after reaches towards the cathode rays, and these cathode rays lead towards the electron. Clear? So the gases also conduct electricity, explained by the Julius Macker, and then after the cathode rays are formed, and after that the electrons. So in the next video, I will talk about for the properties of cathode rays. This was explained by the J.J. Thomson. So thank you for watching my video, and for the study of the properties of cathode rays, come to on my next video. Thanks a lot.